All right, hello everyone. Welcome to our next interview in the Professional Yogis interview series. Today we have Zoe Trenwith with us, and I'm so pleased to have you here, Zoe.
Thank you for having me.
I met Zoe, that was last year. I came to Adelaide actually through a yoga student of yours who came to one of my retreats in Fiji, and I asked her, okay, I'm going to Adelaide, which yoga teacher shall I meet? And she said, you have to go to Zoe. So that's what I did, and I was amazed. I
loved having you in class. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing. I really remember you got us through this intense backbends.
One of my backbends are my love.
yes, it was beautiful though. I loved it. Yeah, and since then, Zoe and I, we've been in touch and have stayed connected. Zoe believes through our physical body and our physical practice that we can learn more about ourselves as people, and throughout her classes, the students are encouraged to pay attention to the conversations they have with their bodies and how the lessons they learn on the mat can be taken in their daily lives. Zoe is an intuitive and passionate teacher, that's for sure, and who holds space and has the desire to help people live the life of their dreams, because that's what you're really doing. When I see your Instagram feed, I'm always like, she loves it. She's living her dream. Like, she's absolutely in it.
Absolutely. Life's too short not to be.
That's true. As a teacher training, who just finished another module of her teacher training in Adelaide at her, which she facilitates, Zoe mentors new yoga teachers, helping them to discover their message and encouraging them to share their message with the world. Zoe, now just one question: like, how many yoga teacher trainings already have you led?
I've led 5 of my own, and I've worked on 7 others for other companies.
Oh, so, wow. That's amazing.
It's been a few years.
Yes, I can imagine. And you probably learn every time you
always evolving. And this recent course, we've learned and evolved a lot more and been adding more and more in, which has been really beautiful to be able to add some of that stuff in this time as well.
Yes. I remember when I was at yours last time, you had your manual just printed out, and I was
so excited.
I was like, ooh, another teacher training manual. Okay, so just tell us a little bit about your own journey to yoga, and how did you end up being where you are right now?
I first came to yoga after a car accident. So I had a car accident a few years ago and had a few injuries from that. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries, knee and ankle surgery, and had some back, spinal cord and neck injuries, and through my rehab and the journey back to health, I heard that yoga was good for your back, so I thought, I'll give it a go. Went to my first class and absolutely loved it. Went to another class and absolutely hated it. Different teacher, and then went back to the other class, and I was just like, no, there's something to this, and and then just practiced for a few months, and that's when I was living in Sydney, and then moved back to Adelaide and found some teachers here, and in the meantime I'd become a personal trainer and things like that as well. And basically how I came to be a teacher was one of the people from the yoga studio said to me, you should think about teaching. And my journey back to health from my car accident and everything that I went through, I really wanted to be able to help other people to really find the freedom and stuff in their lives and in their bodies, and that's what led me, I guess, along this path.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. And now you're offering teacher trainings. I think that's really, really inspirational. I mean, this is the journey when you're a teacher yourself, and then you are teaching the teachers. Then I think that's then the next step, where you dive a little bit deeper even into the practice, because I believe like even teaching is already, you immerse yourself into yoga way deeper as being just a student, or
and I think with the teacher trainings that we've been running, and we were just talking about it this weekend, is that so much that you learn from being a teacher to being from being a student to being a teacher, and then you know, taking all of the things that you've learned as a student and being able to bring that into your teaching. So one of the things that we really focus on is we actually ask our students, we get them doing journaling questions and things like that. You know, what is your yoga journey? What brought you to yoga, and what made you first come to the mat? What made you keep coming back? What is your experience in some of the postures, so that they can start to get an idea of what yoga really has meant to them in their lives. And through that, they are then able to express that in their teaching, and that's what I try to do as well. So
wonderful, that's beautiful. So what do you see? What were some obstacles you had when you started teaching? Because I know that yoga teachers watch this vlog, and yoga teachers are interested to know, who are just starting out or thinking about to become a yoga teacher. So what was a huge thing for you, or a couple of obstacles you tackled?
Yeah, well, one of the big things is in Adelaide, where, you know, I'm from, and, you know, I've lived in Byron Bay and have moved back to Adelaide, is that it's a little bit more of, in some ways, a bit more conservative, and the mentality of being a yoga teacher was certainly, you know, my family, you know, when I was a personal trainer teaching yoga, it was okay, but then when I transitioned to being a full-time yoga teacher and just teaching yoga, it was like, oh, you can't really make money off of that, and it's not a career. So that's been one of the big things, is the mentality of Adelaide, and it's certainly changing. So there's now been some studios that have popped up, and it's become more okay to go to a yoga studio and do yoga. So I think that's been one of the biggest things, is being in the environment that I'm in, and the mentality of the people around there, that trying to get students to come to class and encourage people to come and try yoga in the first place has been one of the biggest things. So,
I guess that goes on your, like, and I mean, I have faced that as well, and it's just it shakes your confidence when your surrounding is doubting you and is not saying, like, yoga teaching, are you sure? You know, and it's and my family has been like, I mean, although they're supportive and encouraging of me as a person, they don't really understand yoga as such. But more and more over the years, they've recognized that how much more my confidence has grown, and how I'm a lot more at peace within myself and happy. And they recognize that has come from yoga. And I think the big thing was, you know, there will always be times when you doubt yourself, and you go into a class and something happens, and then, you know, like just the other day, I had someone who came into a class, and about 5 or 10 minutes in, they left, and you kind of go, oh, like, did they not like my class? What was that about? But you know, she had a migraine and she wasn't feeling well, so she left. But all these little things can happen, and it's actually the stories that we tell ourselves sometimes, and learning to really recognize that they are just stories, and to not let them, you know, get carried away, and to not let those negative thoughts and those negative habits and things like that take over. To always go back to, no, yoga has given me so much, and yoga has given me so much in my life, and I really want to share what it has given me. That's what I always go back to. So whenever those little challenges have arisen, I always go back to, yoga has given me so much in my life, and I want to be able to share that. So you go back to your purpose and your why.
Absolutely.
Like, gives incredible energy and fire. It's true. So what would you suggest to a yoga teacher who's starting out and who is afraid not to be able to fill the classes, or not to have enough students to, you know, make a good income, or make an income of, at least for paying off the efforts and time investments?
I think the thing is, you know, I've taught a class where I've had one person rock up. And I've been in situations where one person will show up to another class, or two people will show up to the class, and the teacher will go, oh, there's not enough people, and they won't teach. And I think what you've got to remember is that to teach who is there, you have the opportunity to change someone's life by teaching, and to give them something. And if you always go back to that one person will go off and tell all of their friends. And then, you know, you build it that way. Whereas if you cancel the class, then they're going to go off and go, well, if I go next week, I'm not the only one, they're going to cancel again. So they're less likely to come back. So I think the big thing is to always just show up. To just be there and be present, be connected with whatever students are there. And the more and more you can do that, word of mouth is a huge thing. I get people that come all the way across town to my class, which is beautiful because they've had someone say to them, "Oh, you've got to come and try Zoe's class."
I came all the way from Sydney.
You came, exactly. You came all the way from Sydney. So I think it's going to take time, and it may be a slow process. Don't expect to go out and teach your first class and have 30 people in your class, and and if you do have 30 people in the class, don't expect that it's going to happen again next week.
Nice. I love that you're saying that.
Just be there every class, rock up, have your intention, remember your why. Why are you teaching? And that will always, show to your students, and you'll attract the students that you're meant to attract. Not everyone is going to love my classes, and not everyone is going to love you as a teacher, and not everyone is like, we've got 5 or 6 different teachers at the studio here, and they all have their different things that they share. We all have our own uniqueness. So honor that. Don't try to be anyone else. As long as you stay true to who you are and what your values are and who you are as a teacher, your students will come. Exactly. They'll come to you.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Oh,
they'll find you.
Fantastic advice. That's fantastic advice, and that would have been what I would have asked you now, like 3 tips for starting yoga teachers. Have you anything to add to that?
I think in terms of being able to work out who you are as a teacher, it's going to take time. When you first start, you're going to be very influenced by the teachers that you've had. Don't try to compete with anyone else. Over time, you'll keep developing, and I think the important thing is to teach what you know. Like, understand that you have something to share, and that you do have something unique. When there's so many yoga teachers out there nowadays, and there's so many trainings and new teachers and new people coming through, you can kind of get a little bit lost in, what do I have to offer compared? But always remember that you're unique. You're your own person. You're going to have your own way of presenting something. So work out who you are, and work out what's your why, what's your yoga story, and what do you want to share with your students, and teach from that. And what you don't know, the things that you don't know, like, I have a strength in anatomy and alignment and technique, and I teach the arm balances and things like that. And then I also have private clients that come to me for rehab work because I've got, again, that background. So they're my strengths. And so I know that, and I teach to that. But then there are areas in my studies where I go and study pranayama and meditation and philosophy. So there are areas that we kind of like fill the gaps. So know what you know it well, teach that, and then choose one thing. That yoga is so vast. There's so many options, and so many new teachers come to me. They go, "Oh, I just want to learn everything," and then they get overwhelmed with it all. There's so much. So what I always suggest is, choose one thing that you want to learn more about now, and direct your energies and your studies towards that. And then when you feel like you know that enough, choose the next thing. And then work and direct your studies towards that. And then choose the next thing. And over time, you'll build yourself as a well-rounded teacher. But don't get caught up with thinking, I don't know enough. I don't know anything, or I can't be like that teacher. It's like, teach what you know, and be true to what you know. So don't try to teach things you don't understand. Because then
people feel it.
Exactly. If it doesn't make sense to you and it's not true to you, then your students will feel that. Wow,
thank you so much. That was really that was an awesome advice, and I love that, and that's what I say to my coaching clients as well. Just find your one thing, and then you can always apply that in your teaching straight away. And when you teach something, you learn it the best way. When you have to explain it, and when then you learn it 100%, and then it's in your blood and in your cells, and then you can move on, or you can even go deeper, and then you will get the questions as well. And the questions, how deep have you learned? So I think that's some fantastic advice. Zoe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was such a rich interview. I didn't have to ask not much. So there was a lot of coming out of you, and we probably could go on for another hour or so.
I've been teaching it all weekend, so I'm like juiced up on it.
Oh God, yeah, I can imagine. Thank you so much, and to everyone else, if you want to get in touch with Zoe, Zoe has a website as well where you can find her. It's zoetrenwith.com.au or .com?
Just .com.
.com. So I will add that all into the caption below the YouTube link, and also into the blog, which I will set up. So you'll find Zoe very quickly. And Zoe is teaching currently still at Cosmic Yoga Studio in Adelaide. So if you ever be in Adelaide, don't miss a class with Zoe. It's awesome. Or
for the next 3 months, and then I'm away. I'm going to go and take 3 months off to go and study and explore myself.
Oh wow! Oh, fantastic!
I'm excited about that.
Yes. And do you have any retreats? Anything coming up?
Not at this stage. I've got a couple of ebooks coming up, and they'll be released soon, and some retreats next year. But the details will be out soon.
Great. Awesome. Good.
Thank
Thank you so much, Zoe.
Thank you.
See you guys.